And because we're moving on, we have to start off with from the top. Hey, what's up? My name's Heero. How you guys doing? This is the Identity Booth, and Eric is not with me. We miss him dearly, but he's out there doing his 7th version of his honeymoon. That's a play on words, because that means he's on his 7th anniversary. Him and his lovely wife are enjoying their day. Shout out to Shani for letting Eric be great, because you know Eric is lost without her, clearly. Before we get into what we're going to be talking about today, who just jumped in here? Who's that? I can't see nothing on my thing, but I'm just waving at everybody on Twitch, on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, you want to catch this feed and actually see what I'm talking about, jump on YouTube, jump on Facebook, jump on Twitter, jump on Twitch. If you have a Gmail account, you can log in for free. You can log in with any account, but it's just easier. But yeah, that's where you guys can catch me. I'm also on a bunch of podcast platforms. I'll put the link in this comment section, but you can catch me on Apple, iTunes, and all this stuff. And if you enjoy anything I'm doing right now, don't hesitate, man. Y'all come support your boy. Help a boy out, man. We out here in these streets trying to make it, man. So if there's something you feel like you can do for me, help me out, donation, you know, just watching this helps me. But if I have a sponsored link, if I have a sponsor, it's going to go in right now. And if I don't, you won't even hear this part, and it won't even matter. But we'll push on. If there's nothing I've forgotten. No, I haven't forgotten none. We got 240 identifiers. So like, share, subscribe. Y'all know the routine. Let's get into this story. And for me to get into this story, I think I need my headphones, because I want to hear this in real time. So I just want to hear her story first. So let's just hear her story first and go from there.
Ends. Nurse Doring, thank you so much for being called the coronavirus crisis. Join us this morning, but she declined. But here to describe what she's seeing on the front lines in South Dakota is Jody Doring. She's a registered nurse who has called the coronavirus crisis in her state, quote, a horror movie that never ends. Nurse Doring, thank you so much for being here. When I read some of your tweets, my jaw dropped. You said that even now that the hospital is being overrun with COVID patients. They come in, they're horribly ill, they're gasping for breath, and yet they don't believe they have COVID?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing to watch is that people are still looking for something else, and they want a magic answer, and they don't want to believe that COVID is real. And the reason I tweeted what I did is it wasn't one particular patient, it's just a culmination of so many people. And their last dying words are, this can't be happening, it's not real. And when they should be spending time FaceTiming their families, they're filled with anger and hatred. And it just made me really sad the other night. And I just can't believe that those are going to be their last thoughts and words.
Anger and hatred towards you?
You know, I think it's just a belief that it's not real, and nursing happens to be on the receiving end of that. And that's okay. We can take that. That's what you're there for. It's just in the bigger picture when you try to reason with people of, can I call your family, your kids, your wife, your friend, your brother? And they say no, because I'm going to be fine. And you're watching their oxygen levels, you know, maxed out on what we call vapotherm at 100%, and their oxygen level might be 75. That's not really that compatible with life, and we know where that's going to head. And it just makes you sad and mad and frustrated, and then you know that you're just going to come back and do it all over again. And so, yeah, that's kind of where that stemmed from.
How could it not make your own head explode? They're gasping for breath.
What up, Shotgun?
Their oxygen levels are dropping.
I'm on Facebook or YouTube if you want to watch. I'm watching the video,
anything,
and then we're going to talk about it.
influenza, they want it to be pneumonia, they want it to be, I mean, we've even had people say, well, I think maybe it might be lung cancer. I mean, something so far-fetched.
You would
And the
rather have
reality is,
lung
since day
cancer?
one, when COVID started in this area in March, you've kind of been able to say if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. Like, I hate to tell you that you have COVID, but that's what you have. You know, even after positive results come back, some
It's
people
kind of
just
interesting
don't
because
believe it.
Wyoming
Now, that's
is
not
a
everybody. We
Trump
have a lot of
country.
patients who are very, very grateful for their care and very thankful for what you do. But unfortunately, that's not what I'm remembering right now. And as my nursing career, that's not what I want to be remembered. Be remembering poor. I want to remember.
All right, all right. That's a pretty pretty in-depth analysis there. Let's take that apart real quick. All right, so there's so many things wrong with people not wanting to accept what's going on with COVID right now. Like 2,000 people died yesterday from COVID, and no one is really. It's sort of this dissonance of like you explain it. I explained it like this, you know, if you were in the forest and you saw a bear running at you, you would run. You would put obstacles in front of you to behind you to prevent that bear from you. You would do whatever it takes to save your life. But because COVID isn't something we can see, and it's just not it's impacting people, but it's disproportionately impacting people who might not be able to resist. It's like if we started seeing like celebrities go down, politicians go down from this, not like go down from like go down and be sick a few days, like dying, it'd be a little bit more real. You have to see something here. But if you like, you know, and it's the total opposite from that bear example. If you then heard the sounds of a bear, felt the tremblings of like the ground rumbling underneath you as if something was coming to you, but nothing was there, your curiosity would almost make you want to go find it. And that's the issue. That's the situation we're in right now. And I put up a poll on my YouTube, on my Twitter page, and Facebook and IG. And the question was simple: if there was a vaccine out right now to help with COVID, would you take it? And like, it was shocking to see the responses I got from that, because out of 10, let's just say out of 10, but I think I had about 40 or 50 people respond, but let's say out of 10, only 2 people, so that's 20% of the people in that poll I did said they would take the vaccine, and that's pretty on par with the nation's standard right now, which is 70-30. 70 not taking it and 30 will take it. That's really disappointing, and that's a major letdown of our governing, of our ability to make our citizens feel safe. As a total failure on the government. Vaccines. The fact that vaccines are questioned so highly in this country, in a country that's considered to be educated, is baffling to me. If you're asking my opinion, I would take it. It's not a hard decision for me. But also, I work in the healthcare field, and I also work with pulmonary. So, yeah, we're doing transplants to save people with COVID. Could you imagine catching COVID and then having to have a lung transplant? That's your final finishing move? Tragic. The Orange story is pretty insightful, and I mean, but now it's like this question of, okay, where are these spikes coming from? And 2 weeks ago, today is the 20th, 11/20, but like 2-3 weeks ago, what happened? Well, obviously it was the election, right? But a week before the election, what really happened? Can anybody answer that question? Oh yeah, you in the back, what's up? Yep, that's right. It was Halloween. And tradition trumps logic. Some people couldn't go without their kids experiencing some American folk tale. And there's a part of me that really I found myself siding with the people who are like, it's a pagan holiday and it's about worshiping Satan. I was like, yeah, that, you know what? Telling people that gets them to stay the fuck home. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's scare people into staying home. Because Halloween was a spike. And it happened all over the country. But you can see now, especially after the election, now that we have an election map to kind of see, places where Donald Trump supporters live is where people are dying. And I'll say this, I said this last week and I'll say it again. If Trump fought COVID, the people who would have died from it would have more than likely helped him win the election. He lost by some 60, he lost by a few thousand in each, like 20,000 in each state that he lost, that flipped. 260,000 people are dead. He would have won this election with those numbers. Land on your own sword, in the words of the great JB. The next spike is coming though, because like I said, it's the 20th of November. What's next? Thanksgiving. I am 32 years old, and for the last 32 years of my life, not 32 years on the dot, but for the vast majority of my childhood growing up, probably 15 and up, I have gone to the Dairo's house for Thanksgiving to eat Tucci's mom's food. The smell of her house is one of the most triggering memories of my life. It has a very distinct scent. It's very African, and I fucking love it. And no matter what was going on, whether it was the loss of my cousin or college, whatever, no matter how defeated I was in a year, coming home to eat that turkey and talk amongst my friends, Kolade, all of them, sis, having my siblings there, parents coming there to ask me weird questions about when I'm going to get married, I loved it. And I'm not going to be able to experience this shit. They canceled that shit. And I'm thinking to myself, would I be, can I get a Zoom thing going on? Wait, my camera's frozen. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. Okay. Can I get a Zoom thing going on where all of us are there, but then it's coordinating trying to explain to an African parent how to get the computer to work. Man, they're trying to get them to realize how the goddamn remote works is difficult. But you want to do something. Don't, schools have already figured it out. They peep game. These kids are about to go home and intermingle with their friends, family, whatever, and then come back to campus. Schools have already been no, we're not letting people back on campus. And I think that's a great idea. That campus stuff is dead. What's your game plan here? Get people to come back to campus? No way. It's too risky. Why would you risk it? And then if you bring them back, you run the risk of having these people spread whatever they have. That's also too risky. You don't want to do that. You don't want to risk that. So now you're stuck in that, in a rock and a hard spot, and it sucks. But that's the situation we're in right now. If you're going to let your kids come home, man, quarantine, don't kill Graham for some turkey. Don't kill Graham for some dry ass turkey, man. Don't do it. Send a care package. Leftovers taste better than the original day anyway. Don't kill your parents for some dry ass American turkey. Please. Stay wherever you are. Don't let nobody come to you. No, we have to figure out a way of doing it. The transfer of power doesn't happen till the 20th of January. So we by ourselves have to figure this out. Talk to people, beg people to do the right thing. And I mean, that's literally it. That's all we can do. Is hope that people just come together and just don't let this be too big. Don't let this like be a battleground situation. Thanksgiving's over. Black Friday, any store that's opening up for Black Friday should be charged with negligence. Don't put yourself at risk, is what I'm basically saying here, for some dry ass American turkey. Like there was a clip I wanted to talk about in regards to this, but I'm just leave it like that, man. Don't kill your family members for some dry ass turkey. Social distance. Do this shit the right way. We can beat this, but we need to work together. It's so important that we work together. I don't know if we're trying to work together.